Let's talk about this cyclical living and how men and women run on different cycles. Men on sort of, I like to call them like men are the sun, women are the moon, right?
Yeah.
Like men are the seed, women are the soil. Let's talk about how men run, maybe briefly, and then I'd like for you to open up, and I'd love for you to talk about the moon as well, because I think that's super important for women. I think in modern life we are so divorced from nature and think we are not of this earth somehow. So
Mm-hmm.
talk a little bit about that.
Awesome. Yeah. So what's really important to know, and I've just been learning so much more about gender and hormones and, which parts are our identity and which parts are our hormones and which parts are our biology and which parts are who we are as a soul. And so I do want to say that when we get into a conversation about hormones and biology, it gets a little messy, and I'm just doing my best. So I do want to highlight that and just say people who are testosterone dominant have hormonal cycles that are every 24 hours. People who are estrogen dominant have hormonal cycles that are every 28 days. Some of the people who are estrogen dominant also have periods.
But you don't have to have a period.
You don't have to have a period in order for this to apply to you.
You could be a woman in transition. You could be menopausal. You don't have to have
or have a hysterectomy or be pregnant. Like, there are so many reasons you may not have a period. And even if you don't have a period, this totally applies. Even if you identify as a man, this totally applies. Because now, granted, we live in a patriarchy. So the reason this is important is we are hyper identified with the fact that as a culture, we're now breaking this down, right? And we're dismantling this. But as a culture, for a very long time, the assumed norm has been white, cisgender, male, heterosexual. And so our whole world was set up for that kind of person. And I'm married to one of those people. My dad is one of those people. I love those people. And also, they're just one kind of person. And so the problem that we have is that our whole world was set up for the 24-hour cycle, which at least 50% of the population is not experiencing.
Right.
So 50% of the population, I'm one of them, has sort of felt like every planner system and all the time management stuff and all the 10x your productivity and, high impact and, whatever, sometimes it feels like it applies. And then sometimes it just feels really aggro and aggressive, and almost violent.
Yes.
And that is because a testosterone dominant person goes through the 4 phases every 24 hours. So that person, it makes sense that their days are designed identically and that they would do the same thing every day and feel more or less the same every day and be able to go harder than the day before in some cases, right? That's sort of the assumption we have, that the idea is to do more and go harder every day until you die. Which, when we say that out loud, it's really sick.
It's really crazy. What do you get? Do you get a medal?
Yeah, you die.
Yeah.
Like everyone else was going to die anyway. That's what happens. And then for estrogen dominant people, we have this cyclical experience that's over 28 days-ish. Now, some cycles are 25 days, some cycles are 32 days. But basically, we have this sort of beautiful, luxurious experience of going through these 4 different phases during the month from in blocks of time from 5 days to up to 14 days, depending on our hormonal ebbs and flows. And so these 4 phases hold the blueprint, like I said, for the energy and the focus that we need to create literally everything, whether it is a human being or a dinner party or an online launch or a conference or a birthday cake. It literally, creation's big and small, they're all equal, and they all require these 4 same ingredients. And for estrogen dominant people, we have those 4 phases throughout the month, and we just need to go macro instead of micro to begin to change our relationship to time and stop beating ourselves up for not feeling the exact same way every single day. There's nothing wrong with us that we don't have a testosterone dominant body.